You give up for an entire day: food, sleep, or your phone. When you receive notification on your phone, can you wait to check it, or do you instinctively reach for it immediately? Americans' phone addiction is real, but our next guest says a week-long phone cleanse could go a long way to helping us break our habit. Digital productivity coach Deb Lee joins us with much more. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Very good. Let's start with a study. What are some of the findings that show just how dependent we are on our cell phones?
Well, the Xfinity mobile study found that 3 in 5 Americans admit the need to checking their phones within 60 seconds of getting a notification. 49% of us admit to picking up our phones, checking to check for something, but then we get distracted and forget what we were looking for in the first place. And all of us have about 9 apps that we just tend not to open or use at all, so they're just sitting there cluttering our devices. So those are just a few of the findings from the study. What
was the most surprising finding to you?
I was really surprised to learn that a majority of us would give up some basic daily needs like taking a shower, drinking water, sleeping, eating, talking to other people. We'd give up all of those things for an entire day just to have our phones with us. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, shower and not eating? Good gracious. Now there's a 7-day guide called The Phone Cleanse to help us detach from our phones. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, as you mentioned, it is 7 days long. The phone cleanse gives us some advice and practical steps that we can take to not only unclutter our devices, but also to just refresh or reframe the way that we interact with them. So for instance, there is the app purge, where we're encouraged to get rid of 10 apps. We know that we never use 9, so 10 should be a piece of cake. There's the 24-hour notification fast, where we turn off notifications for 24 hours so that we don't get pulled in by those distractions. We know that those notifications pull us away from what we should be doing, so turn them off and then instead schedule time to check our phones. There's also going gray, embracing the gray. Go gray for a day by turning off those bright, bold colors on our phones and turning on grayscale so that we can be more mindful when we pick up our phones.
That's a little more soothing too, isn't it? The gray background and the colors?
Well, it certainly is not as appealing, and many of us love color. Even we can recognize the color of icons on our phone. We don't even need to see the name. We can just see the color and just be pulled in by it. So it is very much less stimulating than you might realize.
Now, you being a productivity coach, a digital productivity coach, I'm going to ask you a little something that's off the script here. Do you find people wasting a lot of time on their phone that they could be doing something else, more productivity, making money, an extra job, you name it, it's there?
Well, I think getting distracted is probably the thing that we're struggling with here. Whether it's a notification on the phone that we hear or that we see, we're getting distracted by it. So yes, could we be doing other things that help us to accomplish more? Certainly, and that's where the phone cleanse comes in, because it does help us to be more mindful. So instead of just reaching for the phone because you need something to do with your hands, or because you're feeling a bit bored, or because maybe you're procrastinating, be more mindful about why you're picking it up and use it so that it's more of an effective tool rather than one that is overwhelming you or distracting you.
I understand that. How can we get some more information?
Oh, they can go to 2 places: xfinitymobile.com/phone cleanse to see all 7 steps online, or people can tweet at Xfinity Mobile on Twitter to get the hard copy of the guide.
Deb, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.